This is an emotional logic story called Esther Feels Empty. And it's about depression. Esther the elephant loved living on the savannah with all her friends. She was kind and gentle and a good friend to everyone. She laughed when they laughed. She cried when they cried. But there was something else that was special about Esther. She was good at organising and helping her friends. In the cool savannah mornings, Esther could sweep her long trunk along the ground to find the juiciest blades of grass, or reach right up into the trees to pluck the most tender young leaves. But over the last few weeks, the savannah had been baked to a hard crust by the roasting sun. The river had dried up to just a trickle. There was a drought. Esther and her friends were not having such an easy time. They were searching for food and water to drink, but things were not looking good. This troubled Esther. She became worried and she wasn't sure what to do. Monty the monkey announced that he was going away with his monkey friends to look elsewhere for some grass where the tastiest grasshoppers lived. Esther noticed an empty feeling grow inside her that wasn't hunger. She felt very down on saying goodbye to Monty. "Don't worry, Esther," said Monty chirpily. "We shall be back when the rains come." The day grew hotter. Jemmy the giraffe announced that she was setting off with her giraffe friends to find some taller trees into which they could stretch their long necks. "That's where we shall find the sweetest new leaves," she explained to Esther, "even sweeter than the ones you can reach." Esther felt even more down and empty as she watched Jemmy and her friends swish their long spindly legs through the few patches of sparse dry grass that remained. "Don't worry," Jemmy called over her shoulder. "We'll be back when the rains come." Ollie had put off going to look for new sources of food for as long as he could. "We ostriches just eat just about anything," he explained to Esther. "But there is less than anything to eat." "I can't cool my head in the sand anymore," he continued. "There's nothing to eat there either." Esther felt emptier still as Ollie sprinted away, using his wings to steer himself. "Don't worry," Ollie shouted as he sprinted round in a circle. "We'll be back when the rain comes. There will be lots of lovely grubs to eat then." But then Reggie and Zora trotted by together. "We're just off to look around the base of the hills for some water and food. Have to prevent more weight loss. Don't worry, we'll be back when the rains come." Esther began to lose hope that anyone would be back. She felt powerless to say or do anything to make a difference. "What's the point in trying?" she thought. She bent down on her knees and shook her head slowly side to side. Then Esther saw Shelley waggling her legs to get herself into a shady hollow in the hillside. "There's the place," she muttered, "cool and hidden. I'll be as safe can be in here until the rains come." Esther felt all alone, as if no one knew or cared, even though she knew deep down that they all did. It was a horrible mixed-up feeling. She wanted to cry, but then suddenly she felt angry and wanted to do something just to get rid of this horrible feeling. She found herself lumbering across the savannah, trumpeting in fury and stamping her foot. This made Lucinda the lion look up to see what was going on. "Something seems to be troubling you today, Esther," he said. She stopped in her tracks and then felt guilty for making such a show. She hung her head low in shame. "I just didn't know how to help my friends find food," she replied. They've all gone, and I feel so empty and hopeless. Lysimba gave one of his long, thoughtful, You've become used to helping everyone with their problems, he said slowly. But when the savannah is so dry, they each need to decide where to go to find the food only they like to eat. You are worrying that you've lost your friends, continued Lysimba, and worrying that they will no longer think you are wise if you cannot solve all their problems. Lysimba stopped talking to let Esther think. Esther suddenly realised something and brightened up. We can't always do that, can we? It's a horrible feeling missing them so much, but they need to sort out some things for themselves, don't they? Lysimba just smiled in reply. Lysimba began to walk away across the savannah in search of a shady tree. Sometimes it is wise to let them go to explore for themselves, he called over his shoulder. You can still be a help to them when they return. Yes, but I must remember to let them sort some things out for themselves first, laughed Esther, with the first laugh she had had for days. I can still be a good friend when they return. The days passed. Esther missed her friends terribly. She longed to have them back and knew there was also a chance that they might not come back. But she decided not to let that horrible low feeling seem a problem. She knew it would not be forever. She spent her time sweeping her trunk side to side in search of any remaining juicy blades of grass to eat and playing Hunt the Deeper Watering Holes. She was learning to live patiently while waiting, and Lysimba was somewhere up in the hills. In the far, far distance, the sky rumbled and the clouds darkened. Esther felt her spirits lift and a sense of hope returning. And that's the end.